Hello, I'm Tom Bailey, and I'm honoured today to be joined by Kristin Swanson, who is a Coaches Institute trained coach. So, Kristin, hello, and a very warm welcome to today's episode.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. And whereabouts are you in the world right now?
I am in Seattle, Washington.
Incredible, thank you. And let me now just dive into the subject of Kristin in more detail. So, Kristin helps thought leaders execute their someday when procrastinated projects with ease. And as a breast cancer survivor, knows the importance of getting out of your own way and taking action. The title for today's episode is How to Stop Waiting and Execute Your Someday When Project Now. And Kristin is going to show us how to do that in 7 minutes. So, question number one for you today is who are your ideal clients?
Yeah, so my ideal clients are mostly thought leaders, and they are people who are putting off their someday when projects. So, what that means is someday when I have more time, what I really want to be doing is starting a podcast, or someday when my kids are grown, I want to launch a business or create an online course or move from one-on-one coaching to group coaching, because what I find is they put off the things that are really going to make the biggest difference in their business. So it's thought leaders and entrepreneurs who have something that is kind of out there in their someday land.
Got it. And I'm sure there's lots of different reasons why people put these things off, but is there a biggest challenge these people typically face?
Yeah, I think it all boils down to resistance, which
Yes,
underneath that I believe is fear. And so that comes in all shapes and sizes, and it actually doesn't look like resistance. It looks like, oh, my plate is too full. I've got too many client meetings. I've got back-to-back calls. I have to take my kids here and there, and I've got a super busy calendar. So a lot of times the obstacle seems to be time.
yeah.
And really, when you get below the surface, a lot of times it's resistance and fear.
And it might be fear of judgment, actually fear of success, potentially fear of scale.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Lots of different reasons why we fear things. Okay, great. And having this fear, what impact does that normally have on either them or their business?
Yeah. So what I find typically is that then they put that thing off. That I believe is like the thing they were actually meant to do.
Yeah,
And so they're putting that off. And what that results in is things like inconsistent revenue or not meeting your revenue goals, and because you're not like living up to the full potential that you could
of
be. And
course.
once you go after that thing, things flow easier. And a lot of times that does mean increased revenue, or like just consistent revenue and things feeling easier. So sometimes it also results in less time devoted because you're not like spinning your wheels and whatnot.
Great. And I guess even if it doesn't work out exactly as planned, you're probably going to learn a lot along the way
Yeah.
anyway. And then you can
Yes.
implement the results in the next big action.
Yes.
So, given that, what is one valuable piece of advice that you might give to somebody to really help them solve that problem?
Yeah. So, what I would say is to every time, like every morning, ask yourself, what's the one thing that I'm resisting? And take action on that, like first thing in the morning before you open your email, before you go to your first meeting. And it doesn't need to be a big task, but just 15 minutes a day on those things that you're resisting. And you would be amazed at the compound effect and how that just opens up opportunities to flow to you.
Yeah, great. And sometimes we only spend 15 minutes, but we then find ourselves spending 2 hours on that task
Yeah,
because we've
right.
got into flow. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So you've just got to start sometimes, haven't you?
Yeah.
Great. And I'm sure you've got a ton of great content. So do you have any valuable free resources that you could share with people to help them solve this problem?
Yeah, on my website, KristinSwansonConsulting.com, there is a Make It Happen planner that you can download for free. And it's just a really good way to jumpstart your project and get clear on what those next steps are and how you can fit those small actions into an already full, busy calendar.
Nice, thank you. So KristinSwansonConsulting.com. I'll put that link below this episode so people can just click that, dive in, and download that planner. Great. So slightly off topic now. What would you say is the greatest failure that you've ever made, either in life or business, and what did you learn from it?
I think my greatest failure is my own Someday One project, which was my business that I put off for 8 years. So
Wow.
after I got my coach training, I was a business coach for about a year. And it was also like during the recession, and my husband and I were both
Yeah.
self-employed, and we had young kids. And so I turned one of my biggest clients into a part-time job
Yep.
and just didn't leave that for 8 years and
Got it.
really put it off and put it off. And then, life gets in the way. Like I said, like these obstacles really do seem real. So then I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And it wasn't until all of that treatment was over and I was just ready to like not wait anymore that like
Yeah.
kicked me into gear. So my lesson is don't wait until something like that happens to kick you into taking action, and just why not start now?
Just get started. Exactly. What are we going to regret not doing if we look back on our lives, and let's just do that right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fantastic. And the last question for me today is, what is one question that I should have asked you that will also give great value to our audience?
Yeah, I think the question is, how would I know if I have a someday when project? And my answer is just like getting quiet and listening to your intuition. And is there just something that's like a niggling in the back of your mind? Oh, but really, really want to be doing is this. And it almost
Yeah.
feels like a whisper. So my advice is to like really get quiet, because sometimes the inner critic is a little bit louder than this whisper. But see if there's something that comes to mind that you would be doing if you knew you couldn't fail.
I love that. Yeah. Take the time, carve the time out of your day and, have some silence, listen, relax, and really lean into that intuition.
Yes.
Gr- Great. So, Kristin, thank you so much again for your time today. I really cannot wait to get this episode out there into the world. I really appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.